Good afternoon. I'm here to talk to you about some of the changes that we can possibly make with Jira and integrating certain other features and functions and capabilities, and one other tool, notably Greenhopper. So first we're going to start with the demo plan, and this is a PowerPoint presentation. We want to keep to the plan so that way we can make progress through it. This is a request for comments and feedback. It's not a mandated new process or anything. So we want to be very iterative and capture all the information that we can and change suggestions. So please do feel free to contribute in any way that you want. Let's see. The drivers for this change. So let's start with these topics. Introduction. First, my name is Paul Keats, and I'm working on the CAMS projects. Things that we want to do, the focus for this endeavor, we want to give all the different team members and participants better views into the system, and we want to be able to do slicing, dicing of data, and we want to show and represent data and tasks and issues in a more graphical method rather than the current existing Jira. There are some notable problems with our current implementation of Jira, that we've got complicated workflows, that there's a lot of variation in configuration by project, and we really want to just start with a clean slate and let's see what we can come up with. So this is a bit of a blue sky, and that's why we're also requesting feedback. So first concept, we've got three types or classes of categories, or whatever you want to use for your terminology, for things that you can have in Jira. We've got a deliverable, and that's strongly focused towards a document and code. So there you have examples of use cases, test cases, code, something like that. It's an actual core document that's being assigned to people and worked on. The next area is a task or associated subtask, and these are generally execution activities. There we're looking at things like, we already have a test case written as a deliverable, now we're actually executing the test case. Then the final category or group or whatever construct you want to think of is defects. Here there's something that's already been identified as an issue, and it could be a pure, what we think of as a bug in code, or it could be an error or omission in use cases, or any kind of thing that falls into that category. So the other thing that's notable is we're not just tracking defects with Jira anymore. We're going to be using this to help many people manage their work, their tasks, their assignments, and for reporting capabilities. The next concept is this can assist with Microsoft Project, and later we'll get into that we can actually probably import Microsoft projects. And finally, everything here is pretty much customizable. If you have a different way you want to do it, everything from the UI to the workflow itself can be customized. And like I said, this is a first demo, so feel free to contribute. Then the next concepts are things that we kept in mind while building this is we wanted to accommodate different development methodologies. We have different teams that potentially could use this. Some are waterfall based, and some are more agile based, and some are a little bit of a hybrid. Excuse me. So we definitely kept those things in mind while designing this. If we're looking at the lean model, there we're looking more towards delivery of value to business, and definitely also with agile we're looking for that too. The key queues or workflow sub-steps, there's a to-do, an in progress, and a done. We don't get any more granular than that, and in fact done in a lean world would actually be optional, because it's the to-do of one is the done of the other. So it's there to help visually segregate, but honestly it isn't really necessary. This can be a pull-driven model. So if you're an agile developer, you see a queue building and you just work on the top item in that queue, and you pull it into your your in-progress queue, and it can also be pushed for waterfall, where we have someone like a project manager or a team lead actually take things out of the prior steps done queue and move it into the to-do queue. My personal preference is to be focused on work volume and remaining capacity, and I've tried to keep those tenets in mind while building this. Let's see. So here we're looking at some of the major workflow steps. There's the concept of a project backlog. Within a project, you can have one or more versions open, so there's a version backlog. And this is pending work at the project and version level. It hasn't been scoped yet, and it's just waiting there to be worked on. The next major step is you'd go through some kind of scoping activity, and there the goal is to capture a size estimate or some kind of point scoring system, or perhaps an hours estimate for how much time that work is going to take. Then probably it would move in through some kind of design phase, and there it may be use cases created, wireframes, templates, some kind of UI mock-up, depending on whatever our development methodology is. Then work is probably moved into some kind of development phase, then test and validation, and we can get into the semantics of that. And then the final step is there's some kind of deploy phase. So it looks very waterfallish, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. Like I said, the workflow itself is very configurable and very rules driven, and it uses all of the existing Jira workflow configuration. Some of the new capabilities that we wanted to introduce, the first one is calendar, so let's go have an actual look at it. So let's sign on. By the way, this is running on my local laptop as a separate Jira instance, so please do take that in mind if you see any performance issues. But in a production system, especially a lot of the drag and drop and things like that, they're done locally. They're not server based, so you won't actually see any more performance issues with this than you would with the actual current Jira implementation. So here, if we go look at my reporting portal, the first thing that I have configured here is a calendar. And this is all driven off of due date, and you'll notice that I've got 4 versions, and again, versions can have due dates, so you can see that this helps you visualize what's going on in your life for that month. You can see that I have issues. No pun intended. We have issues assigned to me or to the project, depending on how you filter this. And if you hover over them, you can actually get the details. So here you can see there's a lot scheduled on the 12th of September, and you can actually go view all of the things that are assigned for that day, and that will bring up the Jira view for that particular day. So now we've got to wait while my poor little overburdened laptop goes ahead and gets that view. So here we're back to the typical Jira view that everyone knows and loves, and it's basically applied a sort and filter on top of that. So let's go look at the home again. So here we have a calendar view. Here's today's date. The same is also true of version, so perhaps if you wanted to see everything that's going on in version 4, again, your existing home view in your Jira portal. So now let's go look at the demo plan. The next topic to talk about is charts. So let's go have a look at that. Like all agile tools, perhaps XPlanner or some of the other ones that you're used to, you can get burned down charts in a multitude of ways. And you can do it again based on a point system or some kind of complexity score, or you can just do it by hours, however you want to do it. You can slice the report that way, and so